approaching glide and top of descent. This short video is designed to explain the philosophy behind this part of the approach, which often creates confusion among students. For every landing, it is essential to study the characteristics of the approach path, especially when flying in Switzerland, where traffic circuits can vary significantly in shape and altitude. It is important to understand when to begin the descent and when to configure the aircraft. Let's take this airport as an example and analyze the traffic circuit for runway 26. Downwind is flown at 5,000 feet, while the airport elevation is 3,300 feet. So, when do we start descending? Where do we position our top of descent point? When do we perform the approaching glide? If the Tecnam P208 is flown in accordance with our SOPs, the descent angle is approximately 5 degrees, which corresponds to a gradient of 7%. In other words, for every nautical mile flown, approximately 500 feet are lost. Knowing the airport elevation, we can work backwards along the approach path, nautical mile by nautical mile, to determine the altitude we should have at each point. This allows us to identify exactly when to start the descent. On Swiss charts, the scale that defines 1 nautical mile is shown on the left-hand side. Using this, we can proceed with calculating the top of descent. 1 nautical mile before the runway, our altitude will be 500 feet above the runway threshold elevation, in this case, 3,800 feet. 1 nautical mile further back, 4,300 feet. 1 more nautical mile back, 4,800 feet. And 1 more nautical mile back, 5,300 feet. This means that our top of descent is located in this area. Now, the top of descent is the point where we begin the descent. However, in order to descend, we must have the aircraft configured with at least takeoff flaps. To achieve this, we first need to reduce speed. As a result, the approaching glide procedure will be positioned before reaching the top of descent. In order to reduce speed, it is necessary to maintain a constant altitude after selecting 1,300 RPM. The target speed for the descent is 65 knots. The power setting of 1,300 RPM is suitable only initially. Once you can assess whether you are above or below the desired profile, it is necessary to return to the normal pitch and power corrections.